Hi, I'm Sharyn. Welcome to Island Doctor's Chair Yoga. I'm going to have you start today by standing next to your chair. We're going to bring our awareness underneath our big toe, underneath our little toe, and back on your heels. I'll have you soften your knees a little bit, meaning they're not locked out, they have a little bend in them. When you stand like this, that little bend helps. When you lock out your legs, you tend to come forward in your body, so that little bend tends to help you be a little bit more back in your body. And then the area where your low back is, instead of being into like a C curve, I'm going to have you flatten that. So that might mean that you have to physically bring your hips forward a little bit and kind of tuck your tailbone under. And then on an inhale, I'm going to have you lift all of your ribs, creating space. You have 12 ribs, you're lifting them up, and then exhale, your shoulder blades come down your back, your arms are by your side, palms face out, your head is in line over your neck. It's not jutted forward, it's in line over your neck. When you stand in this position, this is an active pose, meaning if you typically just check in with yourself when you stand, everything kind of collapses in. You stand a certain way and your body goes to the easiest way to be over and over and over again. These little subtle differences that we just did help you engage in your body. You're no longer resting on your bones. You're engaged, your muscles are engaged, you're engaged in your posture. And then we invite our breath into our body, in through our nose and out through our nose. When you breathe in this way, you're taking air in the way that you are supposed to. Your air is supposed to enter your body, being filtered through your nose hairs. It goes into your sinus cavity, swirls around. It becomes the perfect temperature to enter your lungs. If you live in a warm climate, that might not matter much to you. But if you live in a cold climate, it's a good opportunity to have that air heat up before it enters your lungs. And then as you breathe like this, I'm going to have you breathe this way throughout your entire practice. We're going to come into a downward facing dog using our chair. So I'm going to have you place your hands on your chair, step your feet out a little bit wider than your hips, straighten your spine, your head comes down in between your arms. And then you can push your chair or your feet as much as you need to. So you're creating length in your arms. You're pushing through your feet and you're breathing. And I'm going to have you lift up out of this and walk toward your chair. When you get close enough to your chair just to hold on for balance, I'm going to have you roll up high onto your toes. You can balance here using one hand, or maybe just a couple fingers, or even if you're very careful, you can try to balance without holding on. Wherever you're at, and then slowly lowering down, standing in your mountain pose. Deep breaths, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Pushing through your hands, lengthening your arms and your spine, and deep breathing. I'm going to have you step back to your chair. We're going to roll up again onto our toes, making sure that you're in good distance. You can start to roll up high onto your toes. This time when you get up high onto your toes, I'm going to have you start to bend your knees a little bit. So as you come down a tiny bit, you have an invisible wall here that your back is sliding down. You're pushing your feet up, knees up, and breathing. You can bring one arm out. Taking those deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Smiling. And then coming up. Pausing here on your tiptoes. And then slowly lowering yourself down. Standing in your mountain pose, softening your knees. Your back in your body. Your shoulder blades are not up near your neck. They're pulled down your back. Breathing here. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at your waist, bringing your hands onto your chair. Inhale, half lift. Lifting up, exhale, stepping one foot back at an angle, so this leg is bent, this front leg, knee bent, and that arm comes in the back. You're coming into your warrior pose. So your option always, depending on your comfort, depending on how steady you are on your feet, depending on how you feel. If you know you're solid, you know you're steady, I invite you to lift your arm up and bring your gaze over your front arms, but this is perfect. If this steadies you and makes you feel comfortable and safe, then hold on to the chair, please. Breathing. Inhale, lifting your arm forward, stepping your leg to meet the other leg, standing in your mountain pose, breathing, smiling. One hand on the chair, stepping back at an angle, bending that front leg. So you might need to move around a little bit here, getting yourself steady, solid, and bringing that arm back. Feel free to lift your front arm if you choose. Inhale forward. Lift that leg. And stand in your mountain pose. Using the chair to hold on to. I'm going to have lots of options here. I'm going to talk you through this. We're going to bend our leg. So maybe we're trying to get a stretch here in our front of our leg. So you might want to lean your leg onto that chair where you sit, and you can kind of reach back. You can grab hold of a pant leg, or you can grab hold of your heel. You can reach down and grab hold of your foot. You can use that chair base if you'd like to, or if you feel comfortable, you can just reach down and grab hold of your pant leg, or you have access to your foot, you can grab hold of your foot, and then wherever we're at is where we stay. Meaning, if this is where you're at and you're comfortable holding here, then stay here. If it was a little difficult to reach down and grab hold of a pant leg or a foot, then you stay here. If this was super easy for you and you feel like you have the ability to come forward a little bit and balance, you can start to kick your leg back a little bit. And then slowly come down, bring that leg down, and stand in your mountain pose. So please keep in mind that wherever you're at is okay. If you only have the ability to come here and put your knee on the chair and kind of reach down and grab hold of a pant leg, then there's nothing wrong with that. It's not better to come over and lift your leg up and grab hold of your foot. There's no better, there's no worse. There's nothing you're trying to obtain. The whole purpose of this yoga practice is to give you more strength and more mobility in your body. So we're never forcing our body to do things that it's not ready to do. And you'll know when you're ready. You'll know when you feel confident and comfortable standing on one foot. You'll know that you brought your foot up and it's easy for you to bring it back into your hand. If that's easy, if that's good, if you have that, you can slowly start to push back a little bit with that foot. You're holding onto your chair, you're balancing, you're creating strength, and you're stretching this front thigh. Breathing. Then lowering back down, letting go of that foot, standing in your mountain pose. And then we're going to work on our tree pose. So lots and lots of options for tree. One of them is a rooted tree, using one arm for balance, bringing one arm up. Another option is to bring both arms up with your rooted tree. Your toes are on the ground. Then maybe you bring your palms together. Maybe you really pull toward the ceiling here. Slowly lowering down, standing in your mountain pose. Deep breaths here. Doing lots of moving of the chair today. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to root my tree. My heel is leaning gently into my calf. One arm comes up. Maybe that's where you balance today. Or maybe that other arm comes up. Maybe your arms are far apart. That works. Or maybe you put your palms together, crossing your thumbs, pulling your fingertips up toward that ceiling. And then slowly lowering down, standing in your mountain pose, breathing. And I'm going to have you step your feet apart about the distance of your hips, maybe a tiny bit wider. Inhale your arms up overhead, and then exhale them down. So moving with your breath, doing this a few times with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale up. Gently grabbing hold of a wrist and opening up your whole side body. So you're not yanking, you're guiding, and you're not forcing your breathing. As you breathe, you'll feel that stretch in your side body, your ribs. And up. Lengthening your spine, pulling up here, gently taking hold of your wrist. Up, and then slowly bringing your arms down. I'm going to have you bring your hands to heart center, pausing here for breath, softening your knees. And then arms down by your side. We're going to come into a seated position now. So you can either do this actually let's do this before we come into our seated position. We're going to take the chair and we're going to hold on to the chair. We're going to bring our feet apart about hips width distance. And I'm going to have you pretend that there's a wall on your back. Your back is completely flat against that wall and you slowly start to slide down. then you can bring one arm out, or you can bring both arms out. Depends on how you feel. Please hold on to that chair if you have any balancing issues. And slowly coming up, pausing, and standing in your mountain pose. We are going to make our way down into our seat. So now I'm going to come down slowly. I'm going to bring both my arms out. Again, I'm going to pretend that I have that invisible wall floating down my back. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to check and double check that when I do end up in a seated position, that my chair is underneath me. But I'm going to go down very slowly. I'm creating strength in my body. I'm breathing. I'm relaxed. It's like going down in an elevator very slowly. And then finding that chair behind me as I slowly lower myself down. I'm going to come to the edge of my chair. Make sure that you have enough room, that you're comfortable, that you're not too far on the edge of that chair. Inhale your arms up. Bring your gaze up to the ceiling, and then exhale and release. Moving with your own breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up. Clasping your hands, putting them together, crossing your thumbs, pulling yourself up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bringing your arms out and slowly starting to fold over your legs, stretching your whole body. You can bring your hands to your feet. You can bring your hands out in front of you. Trying to create as much length in that spine as possible. And then bring your arms out halfway. Hinge up. Arms up. Exhale down. I'm going to have you take hold. If you have any cans, you can use cans if you don't have weights. I'm going to use little 3-pound weights today. You can do 1, 2, or 3. It depends on how long you've been doing this. Just use a little bit of weight. 1 pound is fine to start. No weight is fine to start. We're going to inhale our arm up. And then exhale, I'm going to have you bring it all the way down. So make sure that you have enough clearance in your chair to lift and lower. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And then I'm going to have you bring your arm back. So you're going to take it and you're going to bring it back and down. Inhale and exhale. And do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to inhale our arm up. Before I move my arm, I'm making sure that I have my shoulder blade not tucked up here, not stuck up near my ear. It's rolled down my back. Inhale up, exhale down. And please keep in mind, if you do have a weight in your hand and your arm is getting too fatigued, you can do this without a weight. Or if you started at a weight that's too heavy for you, then just put it down and maybe use something lighter next time. Remember, we're only working from where we're at. It shouldn't be strenuous. It shouldn't be so hard that you can't breathe. And then I'm going to take that arm and we're going to bring it back and down. You can bring that to your leg, and then we're going to bring our hands together, open and close. Inhale and exhale. And then lower your arms slowly down. Breathe here. Your arms are down by your side. I'm going to have you make like a C in your arm. You have a little bit of a curl here. You're going to lift and up. Lower. Inhale. And exhale. And then I'll have you put your weights down. You're going to sit. I'm going to pull our spine up straight. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to have you bring your arms out now. And like you have little pen or pencil at the end of your fingertips, we're going to move from our shoulders and make little circles. Circling with our fingertips. So we strengthened the muscles around that joint, and now we're just allowing for some new blood and oxygen to get into that joint. Pause, make those little circles backwards. And then slowly allow your arms to come down by your side. I'm going to have you find a comfortable seated position. You can bring yourself all the way back on your chair if you want to and allow your spine to rest on the back of your chair. Your palms can be either palm up or palm down. You can sit the way I am, or you can cross your leg, whatever you're most comfortable doing. I'm going to bring my feet up. You don't have to. And then I'm going to have you find a place in your body to bring your awareness to. So you can soften your gaze here, or you can close your eyes. Sometimes it's better to close your eyes, then you have all this visual input that's no longer coming in. So closing your eyes, and then going to whatever place that you want to in your body. Maybe it's a place inside of you that you feel pain. Maybe it's a place that you feel tightness. Maybe it's a place that you have been told that there's something going on, an organ, a joint, anywhere that you want to go. I'm going to have you go and bring your awareness there. You're going to take a couple deep breaths. And then I'm going to have you let go of any sort of breathing, meaning you're no longer consciously breathing. Your air is coming into your body and out of your body any way that it typically does. It no longer isn't taking a route that you're choosing, you're just breathing. And then as you breathe here, go back to that place that you've found in your body that you want to spend a moment with. And like a flashlight, you're pointing that flashlight in that area and you're illuminating it. As you turn the light on in that area, your cells are responding to the light that you just turned on. And you're inviting some healing energy, some love, some peace into this spot that might be bothering you. If you don't have a spot like that, then please go to your mind. We all do this with our mind all the time. The overthinking, the worrying. So you can shine your flashlight there if you don't have a physical spot in your body that interrupts you. And you're turning that flashlight up brighter and brighter. So there's just a beam of light. And that light is warm, a little bit of heat that's coming with it. And just like you'd say to a child, you can whisper. You can either say it out loud or you can say it internally. You can tell that area, that spot to get better. Get better. I hear you. Get better. And then you start to take that flashlight and turn it down just a little at a time. You checked in on that area. Now the flashlight is getting dimmer and dimmer. You're walking away, you're taking your awareness away from that spot. You're bringing your awareness back up into your head, where your thoughts come from, in between your ears. If you have your eyes closed, you can slowly open your eyes, bringing your awareness back into your body, back into the room. You can wiggle out your fingers, circle out your wrists. And then I invite you to cross your arms, give yourself a hug, say thank you to yourself. The same thing on the other side, so just reversing that grip. Give yourself another hug. Again, say thank you to yourself for taking care of your body. It's not always easy. It's something that everybody can benefit from, movement and conscious breathing. I thank you for joining me. We have videos 4 times a week. We do 3 different Tai Chi videos that we put on, and we do 1 yoga video. So please join us. You can watch old ones. You can do it every day. We're trying to keep this interesting and keep you engaged. It's very important to move. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them at the bottom of this video, and we will get back to you. Thank you. Namaste.